Arundel Haven focuses on two main characters: the 17-year-old human Mordecai and the 22-year-old black fairy maiden named Raven. Of course, I mentioned that how they met. Mordecai was kind of an outcast, a pariah that even his parents didn't understand because he suffered from depression, especially coming from being bullied. In the story, Cece was given certain advantages that Mordecai had been given, like learning how to drive, because their father Tony was teaching Cece how to drive. However, he didn't even bother to teach Mordecai how to drive. And Cece was afraid that Mordecai would become very resentful to her. But as it turned out, that wasn't the case. And they became very close after that. And Mordecai told Cece that he wasn't mad at her because it wasn't Cece's fault. And Raven has been described by her older sister Starla, who's the mother of Twyla, of being headstrong and kind of stubborn. But Raven also has a perceptive heart, because she sensed when she first met Mordecai that he was a good person despite the pain he was suffering. And she started giving her support to Mordecai. And so at that time, Mordecai had both her sister and the fairy Raven to turn to. And then for Raven, her friends didn't understand why she's been going to the human world, and she was often chided by her friends Lavender and Laura Lynn. And she didn't tell them anything. She didn't tell them much about it. And not even after she had met Mordecai, because she knew that they would have a problem with her falling in love with a human. And of course it was later on that Lavender and Laurelyn had followed her along with a few fairy soldiers, and they took Mordecai to Arundel Haven. And later on, at first Mordecai was imprisoned, but God used Twyla to change the hearts of Queen Cymbeline, of Starla, and of Prince Arundel. And they see that not all humans were bad. That there are some good, kind of like in real life today, that there are a lot of bad people out there. And find a good person is so hard to find, because the Bible says that the heart is deceitful above all things and is desperately wicked. We were all born with a sin nature, and we have a natural tendency to do evil. And that's what Queen Cymbeline held against humans. But Starla saw Twyla as another Raven, kind of headstrong, one that loved flying, and Starla saw that as a reflection of how Raven was when she was young, and though Raven would deny it. But as you see, Twyla is also a key player, though a minor character. Even though she's 2 years old and she's a toddler, yet her unscheduled flights, especially one in particular, kind of changed everything around, as it were.